This is the most painful revenge I have ever seen. This girl came to the police station for help after being assaulted. But the police officer on duty saw that she was fully clothed. She didn't look like she'd been through anything. So he took out a perfunctory form and told her to fill it out herself. Amy walked over to her best friend Anna and said, aggrieved, "He told me to fill in the form." The policeman on duty gave Anna a wink. Anna smiled emotionlessly. Then she accompanied Amy to fill out the form. But after the forms were filled out there was a long questioning session. And in the meantime, Anna rushed straight to the policeman and made silent advances until he was red in the face. And then she walks right up to him, asking if there was anything she wanted to do. So they went to the hotel. Anna blindfolded him and took his handcuffs for fun. And finally, discreetly, she picked up his gun. The cold sound of the gun being loaded shattered all the man's expectations. The cold muzzle of the gun gradually descended from his chest. The man struggled, but Anna shot him anyway. At this point Amy was still at the police station going through the process. The final outcome was that both parties were at fault. It was suggested that the matter be resolved privately. After all, if you hadn't gone to a bar at night dressed in a skimpy outfit, you wouldn't have been targeted. Back at home Anna reassures her. "Tell Amy that if this is the case, we'll sort it out in our own way. It all started a day ago. Anna's boyfriend of 3 years suddenly broke up with her. He said he had a family. The baby was walking. Amy couldn't believe it. But she had to accept it. She's still a college student. She worked part-time as a bartender at a bar on holidays. When she was halfway through her shift and couldn't control her emotions, and hides away to wipe her tears, she meets Anna, a dancer from the bar last week. Anna asks how Amy is doing. It's not for a man, is it? Then Anna takes her to a nightclub to relax. Under the influence of alcohol, they go home with some men. But Amy can't get her ex-boyfriend out of her mind. So she asks to go back. Jack insisted on seeing her off. By the time Anna realized it was too late to chase her out. Soon Amy arrived home. Jack offered to come in for a cup of tea. Amy refused again. But Jack took advantage of her closing the door. He rushed in as quickly as he could and closed the door behind him. A tragedy ensued. Amy then called her mother in tears. But she was in a meeting and didn't answer. So she uncontrollably thought of her ex-boyfriend again. She knocked on her ex-boyfriend's door. As soon as he saw her, he pulled her aside in fear. He said, "Stop pestering me. I have a family now." When he finished, he looked at Anna's distraught face. He felt a bit sad again. He decided to send her back first. But Amy had never expected. When she got home, she waited for a second nightmare. When she woke up, she hugged her knees and cried. The young girl's world had fallen apart. And that's when Anna calls. And that's when the story begins. The story will be rewritten. Because Anna had gotten a gun from the police on duty. Back to the story. Anna took Amy back to the house where she had been partying with the men yesterday. But only one of Jack's friends was home. Anna asked him where Jack is. The man took one look at the two men. He said he hadn't seen him before, and he flirted with a smile, asking Amy if she'd had a good night. Anna took a cigarette and smiled faintly. Then she took out her pistol and shot and killed the man without hesitation. Amy went over to the man and found that he was really dead. Her first reaction was to laugh. She couldn't help it. The second reaction was to throw up. She threw up on the sink. But it wasn't over yet. The two decided to stay here and wait for Jack to appear. And while they waited, they sat next to the body and pampered themselves with milk and rice. As they ate, another man came back. Anna calmly asked him if he had seen Jack. The man obviously had no idea what was going on. He casually gave them Jack's address. He then noticed the gun on the table. Curious, he went over to look. And when he did, he saw the body on the floor. And there was another shot. They followed the address he gave them. The sisters went there. Jack was working on his car with his back to them, not noticing them at all. Amy silently grabbed a spanner from the side. After knocking the man unconscious, the two started to pick out the right guy, with the intention of having him neutered. Jack woke up. He found his hands and feet tied. Amy came up to him with a chainsaw in her. He finally panicked. First he kept begging for mercy. When Amy didn't respond, he started cursing again. But Amy hit Jack with the chainsaw. Jack was screaming and spitting blood. Anna simply gagged him. Then she put on her protective goggles and gloves. She took the chainsaw and started looking for places to strike. First, the legs. Jack burst into screams of agony. Amy just raised an eyebrow indifferently, clearing away the excess tissue. Next it was time for the sterilization. Amy watched and listened quietly without saying a word, but the corners of her mouth curved up. After everything was done, Anna ripped the tape off Jack's mouth. Together with Amy, they picked him up, and said they would let him go. Jack almost cried with joy. Amy took off her apron again. But the next moment, Amy raised her pistol and shot him in the head. The next one was the scumbag who was married with kids and still cheating on his little girl. The sisters are at the scumbag's door. Seeing the scumbag come out with his bag, immediately, they wipe their mouths and follow him. The scumbag is driving away. Amy got into the passenger seat. The scumbag is confused. Really? You're still coming? The next thing I know, Anne is dragging him to the back with a piece of wire and strangling him. Suddenly she's in the driver's seat, and she's taking the car with her. They drive off into the countryside, listening to music. The middle of nowhere is the perfect place to kill and bury a body. The scumbag clearly has more brains than the previous ones. He's also begging for mercy, but in a very tactful way. First, he plays the emotion card. You weren't like this before. I thought you knew me. You loved me. The second step was to reveal his true nature. I've never been one to ask for anything, but today I'm begging you to let me go. After all, I did love you. Amy was swayed and she dropped the gun. The man ran away. Anna picks up the gun and kills the man with her hand. The man is shot and falls. All hatred ends now. Amy is not happy. At night they sleep in the hotel. Amy wipes her tears alone. Anna goes to comfort her. The two hearts were so close to each other at that moment. Later, Amy learns that Anna had had a very sad childhood. Her own father had used her for money and sickened her. Then she killed him to escape. So she hated all men. She thinks that no man is a good person. She even saw it as a mission to kill them. Then Amy returned to her normal life. She met a cheerful boy at school. His sunshine and energy make Amy feel like she's in love again. After school, Amy plans to go for a ride on the boy's motorbike. Anna calls and Amy doesn't answer. They went to the playground and aquarium together. They held hands like a normal couple. Amy didn't go home until it was completely dark. There were no lights on in the house. Anna was standing in the dark. Amy was startled. Anna asked her why she didn't answer the phone. Was she with a man or a woman? Amy said she didn't see that Mr. Ho was a man. Anna said she had cooked a table for her to come back, but she had made her wait for 4 hours for nothing. Amy laughed in disbelief and said, "Then you were really mad?" Anna regained her composure, and then she asked what we were doing for Halloween. "I forgot to tell you I had a date." And with that she was off. She left Anna completely behind. At the party on Halloween, Amy and the boys were having fun in the studio. And that's when a girl with a two-pill hairdo, a girl with a samurai sword on her back came into the room. She had a comical mask on her face. Her eyes were glued to the studio. When Amy left to go to the toilet, the masked girl walked in. Then she draws her sword and cuts down the microphone. The boy was confused. The masked woman took off her coat again and gave a graceful salute. The boy thought it was a surprise that Amy had dressed up specially for him. He smiled and went to pick up the microphone. But Anna killed him with a single blow. Amy came out of the bathroom and returned to the studio with the hope of love. There was only a cold corpse. Her love was over. Amy returned home, seeing the blood-stained katana on the table. And how could she not understand? She finally took the katana and killed Anna. Amy thought that for once her life would be back on track. But it seems that by osmosis, her habits were becoming more and more like Anna's. One day she was sitting in the hallway of a bar, smoking a cigarette. Suddenly a woman with tears on her face came crashing in. Just like she had been a while ago. Amy froze again and asked, "Is it because of a man that she is so sad?" The girl nodded and the film ended.